to David Littleproud. He's speaking in Ipswich in Queensland. It's where the National Disaster and Emergency he is the National Disaster and Emergency Management Minister. Let's take a look.
Provide approval for support from the Australian Defence Force, and I've also been working with the Defence Minister proactively about making sure that if a request came from the New South Wales Government, that Army reservists are ready to go and ready to be in place to be able to support the existing ADF functions on the ground, and that would be away from the front line. They are not the professional men and women that are trained to be able to fight the fires, but they can give support in other mechanisms in fire breaks. But the ADF is already supporting with respect to fire observations and surveillance, search and rescue, engineering, fuel, catering, accommodation, and we'll continue to wait and be ready to act if the New South Wales Government asks or any other state asks. And I thank the Defence Minister for being proactive and making sure that our discussions are ready for and prepared to support any jurisdiction. But this is a deeply sympathetic and tragic day for our nation, and it just goes to show that we have great Australians, just normal Australians doing their business normally but prepared to volunteer, that have given their lives for our nation, and we thank them and we give our deepest sympathies to those families during this time of grief and so close to Christmas. Happy to take questions.
Minister, we've seen that statement from Scott Morrison. Do you think he's admitted that he made a mistake by going on holidays at this time?
Well, he's expressed regret if it's caused anyone any anxiety or to be upset by it. Obviously, these events have continued to escalate. What you've got to understand is the operational management of these fires, quite rightly, is with the state governments, and I congratulate them. I think they've done an exceptional job in leading the personnel that they have on the ground. Our job is to support that with ADF, but primarily the federal government role is in the recovery piece. But we can stand ready, and obviously he's coming back, and the role that he'll be able to play is around that emotional support. And I think as the Prime Minister comes back and will be able to reach out to those volunteers and these people that have been personally impacted, is to give that emotional support from the Prime Minister. And obviously he's made it clear that he's making arrangements to get home as soon as he possibly can to ensure that he shows that leadership. But let me say that the operational management from the states has been exemplary, and it's been supported. No request from any state has not been approved. In fact, some of them I've approved within a matter of minutes, and we continue to do that. So we don't stand at the front of the operational line. We leave that to the professionals at the state jurisdiction level, and obviously we support. There's one of those things where too many politicians can get in the road. We just need to let the professionals get on with the job. But the Prime Minister is obviously on his way back because of the escalation of this natural disaster. And that's what you've got to understand. As it has escalated, we didn't anticipate to escalate to this level, but the Prime Minister is now on his way to come back and to be with the nation, and particularly those in New South Wales and probably South Australia today.
Do you concede it was inappropriate?
Have you spoken personally to the Prime Minister, and do you think he should have gone on a holiday?
The Prime Minister and I have been interacting on WhatsApp and texting, making sure that he was fully aware, and his office has been briefed continually on these fires continually. So he's abreast of all the issues, and obviously as it's escalated, he was actually aware of it before me. I woke this morning, and I wasn't aware until I woke this morning in the early hours, and reached out to the Prime Minister, and he was already aware of the tragedy that unfolded, and was making preparations even before I was able to get hold of him this morning. Obviously, as the Prime Minister's clearly said, he had a long-standing arrangement to go on leave for this period of time, and as this event has escalated, he's taken the step to come home and to be with the nation, to provide the emotional support. But he cannot provide any operational support. That's at essence at the state level, and we've given every approval. I have the authority of the Commonwealth Government as the Minister, the appropriate Minister, to provide that, and it's been provided as requested within a matter of minutes, and we'll continue to do that. And I think that's one of the things we as a nation should take great comfort and pride in, in that federation does work in the essence of natural disasters, that we come together and we work together in a collaborative and coordinated way. And our fire commissioners are coming together this afternoon to make sure that further planning, if required, steps are required, then they will take them. So this isn't a two-bit show. These guys are some of the best in the world, our fire commissioners, and our states who lead them should be proud of what their men and women have done for us.
Did he consult you before taking the trip?
Pardon?
Did he consult you before taking the trip, and did you advise against it?
No, he wouldn't consult with me, and obviously, but I'm given the powers of the Commonwealth to make sure that any request from the states who look after the operational management of the fires are charged with the responsibility of looking after those professional men and women on the ground. If they have a request, it comes to me. I'm charged with that responsibility. That's why the Prime Minister has cabinet ministers that have that power. He is just one man. There are 24 within Cabinet that all have the responsibility and given the authority in which to make sure there are actions taken, if required, by the Commonwealth Government when it comes to our responsibilities. But effectively, the states have worked exemplary well together and with the federal government to make sure that these disasters have been addressed in a timely way.